So I've been trying to start conversations, or actually have good conversations, with theists lately. I've decided to try making another video addressing two important points. These points are going to be what kind of evidence will change my mind as to the existence of God, and why the idea of God matters so much to me that I spend my time making videos about it. It would be disingenuous of me to have a conversation about something I don't know everything about and yet refuse to change my mind no matter what the evidence is presented. So I've been thinking lately what would change my mind right now. Personal experience would be the first thing. If I was paid a visit by a deity, there would be no doubt in my mind that, that I would change my mind. I wouldn't expect it would change the mind of others, but we're just talking about me right now. The next best thing would maybe not be a visit from a deity, but measurable evidence that that deity exists. As an example I like to use is the sun. If I said the sun didn't exist, somebody could simply point it out to me. If I was blind, I could still feel its heat. You can use trigonometry to figure out how far away it is. There's a lot of ways to prove that the sun is there and is what it is. So what kind of things could be used to measure God? Well, statistical analysis showing that prayer works, medical cases showing that Christians regrow limbs, are cured of HIV or other incurable viruses at rates far greater than any other people. You can even build a case showing that countries that follow X brand of religion are far less likely to experience natural disasters, economic downturns, whatever. That wouldn't necessarily prove it to me, but it certainly would make it more likely in my mind that what you're saying is true. Basically, if you state that God has a physical effect on the world, then it should be able to be measured. Okay, so we got personal experience and measurable evidence. I would place specific prophecy in that also. I want to put a lot of emphasis on the specific part. I can't tell you how many times I get asked, or I ask for a specific prophecy and get something like the lion symbolizes Rome and the fish means Nazi Germany, and therefore prophecy is coming true. That's not specific prophecy. Tomorrow at noon, an obese midget will kick you in the knee and take your lunch money. That's specific. If I can't just read it and have a good idea what it's talking about without, you got to understand the culture, you got to take certain things in context, it's not going to persuade me. I mean, I'm not blown away by astrology, so why would prophecy of the destruction of Tyre amaze me? William Lane Craig has a lot of logical arguments for the existence of God, and these really don't persuade me because everything really hinges on objective morals exist. Okay. Demonstrate to me the difference between objective morals and intersubjective morals. I will be more likely to believe in God if I can understand the difference. William Lane Craig has also made claims that God is a necessary being. If you can show how God is necessary, that would do it. However, you're going to have to walk me through baby steps, because I'm going to test every single assertion you make. Finally, with regard to evidence of God, I don't exclude anything as long as you can walk me along the garden path, showing me your reasoning. Okay. Now, in regards to why this matters to me, I see a significant cost associated with religion. I'm not going to say that the cost shouldn't be paid, as long as religion is true. However, I don't think people really see what price they pay in order to believe. I know folks who are looking for people that they can have a relationship with, and they exclude people who don't believe as they do. That makes sense if what they believe is true, but if they exclude people because of false belief, well, they could be wasting one of the few opportunities they have for happiness.
The Lord really met me and showed me that He's not someone I'm just going to meet when I die, but He wants to be in my life now, and He wants to do things in my heart, and He has a purpose and a plan for me. So that just totally changed my life.
What did your boyfriend think of that?
He he was like, well, that's good for you, but it's not good for me. So it just started this huge tension between us.
I know people who don't believe in climate change because of their belief in end times prophecy. This makes sense if it's true, but they could be ruining things for future generations and, more importantly for me, if they're wrong.
It's been here 6,000 years, and I know I'm going on and on, I'll shut up. It's been here 6,000 years, long before anybody had environmental laws, and somehow it hasn't been done away with.
I know people who want to protect marriage. The reasoning, I guess, makes sense if the Bible is true. It's false, and they're committing a catastrophic injustice upon people who have never hurt them if it's not true.
I believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. No offense to anybody out there.
I know people who are single-issue voters with regards to abortion. They make the right choice if their interpretation is correct, but if not, they've abrogated their responsibility to consider a wide range of issues in exchange for a fictional command from their Heavenly Father.
My wife, we were trying to have another kid, and you know what? 1 in 100,000 fatal demise, a congenital deformity. So you're yelling at my wife for doing nothing wrong than having a nearly dead baby inside her? And that's what you're going to do? Oh, that's not what you're here for? It's what you just did.
I know people who are creationists and fight the teaching of evolution. They're doing a good thing if they are right, and they are handicapping kids if they are wrong.
How could I say to a student, your ideas are trash. Keep them out of this room. I don't want to hear them. We don't want to discuss that. Don't you know you're being one of those hick hillbillies believing all that religious stuff? I mean, I couldn't do it.
We didn't evolve from anything. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can an African American person evolve from a white person? We're different skin.
My primary reason is that I knew a man who was very strong. He was very proud of his country. He'd been shot. He'd been covered with shrapnel by an RPG. He was the person who trained me when I entered the Army, and now he's dead. He was killed by an IED. I need to know if the people who believe this is true can back up their claims.
Meeting with Palestinian leaders in June 2003, then President Bush reportedly having claimed that God told him to go to war. Mr. Bush reported as having said, quote, God would tell me, George, go and fight those terrorists in Afghanistan, and I did. And then God would tell me, George, go and end the tyranny in Iraq, and I did.
I need to know if people who do this have any real case to make.
In a shocking case of brutality, the Taliban in Pakistan has beheaded 2 Sikhs. The Sikhs were picked up from Bara in Peshawar area on Sunday afternoon and then murdered. One of the dead men has been identified as Jaspal Singh.
I need to know if these people are just arguing over nothing or they have legitimate reasons. In the end, the costs are horrific if religion is wrong. Muslims and Christians and Jews and Hindus and Buddhists and whoever else are disagreeing over their invisible friends, and they need to stop. Religion seems to be in a permanent arms race, and I don't want to bury any more friends and mentors. So as to why, it's because I want to know if the costs paid are worth it.